This week in GTA Online, we have some excellent vehicles you can snag right now for $0. You can pick up an awesome, rugged, super heavy-duty truck for absolutely free, or you can try your luck at the Diamond Casino to win a classic muscle car that's going to transform into a speed demon if you apply the right upgrades. You're definitely going to want to stick around to see how these vehicles perform on the track, and also whether they're worthy additions to your collection or not. So welcome to this week's free vehicles guide for GTA Online. Thank you so much for tuning back in, and let's get started. Jumping in with our first of two free vehicles this week's LS Car Meet prize ride, the Vapid Cara 4x4. It's priced at $875,000 off of Southern San Andreas Super Autos, but of course you can get it for $0 this week just by placing top 3 in the LS Car Meet series races for only 2 consecutive days in a row, so definitely get to work on that. This truck is an absolute beast. It excels in all sorts of off-road conditions. It released with the Diamond Casino and Resort update, and the Cara 4x4 boasts a 4-wheel drive layout that offers a really tight turning radius on the street, but if you take it off-road, it truly shines off the road as well. With its super heavy-duty suspension and build, it's ideal for navigating all sorts of rough terrain like rock crawling, going through the water, things like that. The top speed is an absolute top tier compared to faster vehicles in the off-road class like the Camacho and the Drager, but overall the Cara 4x4 stability and handling make it an ultra reliable choice for any off-road adventure you want to take it on. The large tires are going to be vulnerable to gunfire, so you have to apply bulletproof tires. That's an essential upgrade for any type of combat situation if you're money grinding. And also a neat little trick with this truck is, you may not know about this either, or even know it's possible, the addition of any rack modification on the roof also slightly enhances this vehicle's traction. It'll give you that better traction in the same way that applying a spoiler to a car will give you better traction in GTA as well. It's based on the 2nd gen Ford Raptor, so you know in-game it's going to pack a punch, and honestly, the styling on this thing is absolutely perfect. For the Vapid Cara 4x4, I want to do a mixture of things. Usually I take it around the track and try and set a good pace, but with a truck, I feel like it's just not going to be hanging in there as much with other vehicles, and there's more to a truck than just simply getting a fast lap time, right? Because we're not driving a supercar, we're not driving a sports car, we're not even driving a muscle car. We are driving an amazing truck in this game, and honestly, the style that I went with, so I was trying to think, I was like, do I want to make this look more like a Ford Raptor, or do I want to make this look like some Baja racing truck? And that is actually the vibe I went for. You guys know those like Shelby trucks that you may see at Ford dealerships every once in a while? I actually stopped by a Ford dealership recently because I wanted to see if they had any Raptors. I'm not going to buy one, but I do like those trucks a lot. And so I just wanted to see. I stopped by and I noticed the lot had 3 of these like Shelby racing trucks. They're on the F250 platform, and so I just copied one. They had one in black, they had one in white, and then, oh, you ruined it, man. They had one in white, they had one in black, and then they had, it was like more like a silver, I guess like that car that's driving, or actually more closer to that, like gunmetal gray. It was super cool. And so I was like, okay, I gotta copy the white. Basically, I wanted the front bumper on here with the, like the diff guard, or, you know, the skid plate. There was no diff. Well, I guess on that bumper in this game, it's a diff guard as well, because it goes all the way underneath the differential. You can see right there. But the actual bumper is called like classic racing bars, and it's basically a skid plate bumper in the front. But the thing is, it's white. I really wanted it to be black to match the racing stripes, and of course just the undercarriage of the truck itself. So I went with this bumper. That way this looks like one of those Shelby 2500 like Baja racing trucks. I had to look up the name. So they're Shelby F250 Super Baja. These are crazy expensive trucks. I think MSRP they're like 155K or like 162,000. Dude, do not spend $162,000 on a truck. But nonetheless, you get just incredible off-road performance, you know, the Fox shocks and springs, struts, all that. Honestly, if you want to make something like this, you could just get an older 250 and put a bunch of mods on it yourself and just do like yeet all that money into the suspension and have like an actual trophy truck on like an older F250 platform. But nonetheless, if you have so much money that you don't know what to do with, you can get one of these new Super Bajas, and they do look absolutely sick because I do love the styling of them. And so similar type of like bed, cage racing bars in the back, things like that. So what I'm gonna do is just test the speed out a little bit. We're not trying to see like set a lap time like we did with the classy Impaler LX, but what I do want to do is just see, of course, you know, how fast this truck can pick up on the road, and also let's take it off-road. You can see the suspension travel, axle articulation, all of that. I almost feel like I don't even hear the turbo on here. or anything. Oh, okay, never mind. I do have the performance upgrades applied. I was like, why don't I hear it? So what I want to do is take it around this dirt trail coming up, and then we'll also take it uphill. We'll do some hill climbs, a little bit of rock crawling, things like that. Because the performance of this thing on road's pretty great, but it's the truck at the end of the day. And then off-road, this is definitely, I would say, a top 5 off-roader in the game. Camacho's better. The classy Draugr is obviously better. But if you want like a normal truck, this is definitely the way to go in my opinion. Because even the Camacho, I'm not the biggest fan of the styling. I don't even know what vehicle that's based on. But just any normal truck I'd be driving around in this game, the Cara 4x4 is sick. I would love to see, I wish we could get like a long bed variant of this. Like the Cara, the normal one, the 6x6. Because that has a longer bed to fit, you know, the 4 wheels in the back. This is a crew cab, or quad cab, or whatever you want to call it. I guess this is a crew cab, right? Quad cab is just slightly shorter of a cab. But, nonetheless, crew cab. But this is like a 6-foot bed. If we could get like the 8-foot bed in here, that would be just, like, have the Super Duty long bed. That would be pretty sick. Nonetheless, let's take it up here. Do a little bit of actual off-roading here. Ignoring all the crazy California laws, we are going off-road, baby. And I must say, like, let's just see, you know, because I'm not trying to, like, full send it. I'm trying to keep it, like, a little bit realistic here. Also, I didn't realize this is where I'd be. I want to go up this other hill. So let's take it around this bend. But I just love looking at the suspension travel in this game. It's super cool on the Cara. You don't need to maintain speed to go up this. I mean, you could just pull. I could probably just drive right up this. And I was basically stopped on that hill. This truck is insanely good off-road. The ground clearance is also pretty good. I mean, look at the springs on this thing. They're crazy heavy duty. This thing can pull concave Rally Master off-road rims on here. Let's see. This is probably going to be a little bit extreme, but let's see if we can hit it. Yeah, we're not going to make it up that. But it can climb. It wants to get up. It's just too much for this truck, obviously. I don't even think a Draugr or a Camacho could do that. Maybe one of the trophy trucks, considering they have crazy acceleration. So if you stop on the hill and then floor it, it could be better for you. But yeah, man, honestly, the more I'm driving it for this video, I love this Cara styling. Oh, wow, this is okay. Let's brake. Look at how quick you could stop, even when we were going off of a jump and descending down the hill. I don't want to shill this thing too hard, but I am going to shill it. Shamelessly shilling the Vapid Cara 4x4, just because I absolutely love this truck. I've been in, like, truck obsessed recently. One of the cars I have a 2004 Land Rover Discovery 2, and I love it. There are so many more adjustments and modifications I need to make to it to make it into my own mud bogger. But if I were to get a truck, I mean, honestly, I don't know what I would get. I would get maybe like a 2004 to 2006 F250 or F350. That way I could turn it into my total mobile camper and all that. Put a bed cap on there. I wouldn't get a newer truck just because they're just way too expensive. They're not worth it in my opinion. I'd rather get an older truck that's obviously in good condition. And then over time of me owning this thing, because I would never sell it, put all that money that I would spend on a brand new truck, put it into maintaining, upgrading, and not only bulletproofing, but like, you know, absolutely perfecting an older truck. Even those older Ram 2500 and 3500s from like the late, like what, 1998, 1999 to 2003, 2004. I love that styling as well. Super big trucks for back in the day too. But yeah, the Cara 4x4 is absolutely awesome here in GTA Online. Next up, this week's Diamond Casino Podium vehicle is the classy Impaler LX, and it's available for $1,465,000 from Southern San Andreas Super Autos, but again, you can get it for $0 this week just by getting lucky and winning it off the podium after spinning the lucky wheel. This car launched with the Chop Shop DLC update, and the Impaler LX offers pretty modest acceleration and very good handling out of the box. Once you fully upgrade it, especially with the max engine and transmission upgrades as well as the turbo, this is honestly a very good contender in the muscles class. It's capable of matching the speed of faster muscle cars on extended straights, and while an upgraded suspension is going to improve its handling a little bit, aggressively turning with this car is still going to result in some spinouts if you're not careful. And also, it's a muscle car, so you can wheelie, but I honestly don't recommend it, because even if you don't upgrade the suspension at all to keep it higher off the ground, the rear bumper is going to scrape against the ground, and of course that's going to surely disrupt any momentum you expect to gain from wheeling from a stop. And the design design of the Impaler LX draws inspiration for the 1980 to 85 Chevy Impala, so you get a nice classic aesthetic combined with really modern performance upgrades with this car. Now, truthfully, the weather isn't that great in-game, so unfortunately, the paint job on this car may not look great, but I can't record this video at a different time, or on a different, like, when it would actually be a different in-game day when the weather would be nicer, so apologies for that. But this is the classy Impaler LX. I got it with like a, I think it's a shafter purple or a spinnaker purple, and then bright purple pearlescent on top of the metallic. White wall tires, just tried to make more of like a lowrider style vehicle with this, but not go like super over the top. And so let's take it to the track, see how it performs, because honestly, the performance for this is pretty good in my opinion. Just first impressions. Now actually, now that we're out here, the weather's turning out to be pretty decent, so that's nice. But let's jump in, as always, going on our track. We head north here, then we start heading to the east, south, east again, then we go south, and we start winding west around these roads, wrap up at the intersection. Behind me, that's when I stop my timer. So I will say 3, 2, 1, go. Start the stopwatch, just go from a dig, a little bit of wheel spin, car hooks up right away. I will say, I think the pace we're gonna set will probably be within the 2 minutes 50 seconds to 3 minutes 5 second range, which is actually probably going to be pretty decent for this car, unless the braking is totally awful here. I'm actually not too sure. No, the brakes on this thing are pretty amazing, and for like an older style muscle car in this game, this is pretty fantastic. I will say also, when it comes to the police Impaler LX, I feel like the performance is just going to be not much different, but just slightly faster. We have max performance upgrades on here, and the car is great. There's nothing really bad I could say, especially for like an older style car. This is out of the 80s, I want to say, right? Like early 80s. So there's realistically, like, you know, you can't expect top 10 supercar, sports car performance out of this thing. But for the style of vehicle that this is just fine. Sounds good, exhaust is nice, you know, obviously good customization. I feel like if you want like a newer lowrider style vehicle in this game, because of course we got so many lowriders back in the day, back in 2016. We haven't seen too many added since, but some of these recent muscle cars Rockstar has put into the game, you can kind of turn into lowriders in your own respect. So I made a purple one here. I bet like orange would look good, or green, you know, all the different gangs in this game, something like that, that would actually work. Let's see how this car performs in the trickiest section of this track. And I will say, of course, with the weight distribution kind of shifting all over the place. I mean, our suspension is lowered, so it's not super exaggerated, but it's not fantastic. Car is doing just fine. Setting 1 minute 50 second pace at this point, so I think we are going to be over 3 minutes on this lap. But honestly, that's not too bad, because I was expecting originally, like before I even got onto this track and I kind of saw the performance of the road, I thought this would have maybe been a 3 minute 15 second car. I thought it would have been that slow, but it's really not. Like uphill, this car doesn't feel like you're able to pick up speed all that much, but just around turns, you know, you don't need to slow down like crazy. This car has got very good traction and very good handling for what it actually is. The rear end kicks out a little bit, but it more or less gradually loses control and slides out from underneath you if you're not paying attention. It doesn't kick out, you know, you don't have snap to oversteer, anything that would be like super jarring and would make you crash. But I feel like you could slide and totally lose control if you're not careful. 2 minutes 43 seconds on the clock right now, so yeah, this is about a 3 minute car. So maybe it actually is just a little bit slower than what I was expecting, because I said 250 to 305, right? This is going to be just about a 3 minute car. Let's see. Once we pass this intersection here, that'll be, boom, 2 minutes 59 seconds. Maybe you can count 3. I think that was 2:59 though, honestly. I was in the middle of the finish line, middle of the intersection. This car's performance is actually pretty decent. I am happy with it. Do I recommend you buy it at full price if you don't win it off the podium this week? I mean, you could, and you won't be like wasting your money, but you might as well try and win it this week if you can. Say if you can't get it by the end of the week and you still really want the car, then you could try buying it. And of course, you know, it's not super expensive, but it is obviously, I mean, arguable every car is super overpriced in this game, right, compared to their real life counterparts. But when you think about the time it takes you to accumulate this is basically one Dr. Dre contract and like a Cluck and Bell farm, right? It's going to cost you to get this car, upgrade it, things like that. But anyways, with all of that said, we are going to wrap things up right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Drop a like if you guys did. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Make sure to check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, especially twitch.tv/hazardoushtv. I live stream GTA Online basically daily over on my Twitch account. Would love to have you guys be a part of that community. Still trying to grow the Twitch community out there because it seems like a lot of people want to watch the Red Dead streams, but definitely I feel like the GTA community so far for the videos I'm trying to make on GTA, they don't really know I live stream on there. So if you guys want to see the live streams, that's the place to do it, not on YouTube. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios, amigos.